Hello everyone and welcome to this side lesson in our Final Fantasy XIV Lore series. You asked for it, and here it is. Think of this as my extra credit assignment. Grab a cup of coffee, get ready for a bunch of stuff you never thought you needed to know, and let's get this thing going. So if you watched my Lore for Beginners video, I mentioned the phrases Astral and Umbral to describe periods of time, and how it was actually even way more complicated than what we covered. But if you wanted a supplemental video, I would make it. So the people have spoken, and here we are. A deep dive into how Astral and Umbral works in Final Fantasy XIV. As I mentioned in the video, link up above, the concepts of Astral and Umbral are connected to everything in the game. And because that's the case, they just toss it out there in dialogue like, come on, keep up. So, quick refresher. Astral is active, Umbral is passive. As I mentioned in that previous video, when it comes to periods of history, think of Astral as a civilization's golden age and Umbral as a dark age. In the history of Final Fantasy XIV, in between those two is some sort of calamity, a reason for the collapse of society. So imagine we've got a civilization of a bunch of cool dudes in an Astral era, and then giant meteor, boom. No more cool dudes, no more Astral era, welcome to an Umbral era. But over time, an Astral era will rise out of the ruins of the Umbral, and then it repeats over and over. That's how it works with time. A pretty surface level look at Astral and Umbral, but they are connected, as I've said, to many other aspects of Final Fantasy XIV as well. First, there is light and dark, which should be pretty obvious at this point. Astral is the light, Umbral is the dark. An obvious conclusion, Astral is growth, Umbral is stasis. Hydaelyn, our favorite crystal patron, is light. We are called warriors of light. We are affecting change and healing the world, and so Eorzean scholars associate the light, Astral, with growth, life, the sky, and darkness, Umbral, with decay, death, and the ground. And because of this, the 6 major elements of the world are each connected to Astral or Umbral. Astral, this light, is connected to wind, lightning, and fire. Think of the energy and movement of these elements. A raging inferno, a powerful storm, the current of electricity. Umbral, the dark, is connected to water, ice, and earth. Think of the constancy of these things. A towering mountain, a massive ocean, the frozen tundra. And all of these, Astral and Umbral, these 6 elements are connected, which is why we arrange them like this. Lightning sparks a fire, the fire turns the ground to ash, that kind of thing. A cycle of elements, if you will. But also, the light and dark aspects of these elements affect each other too. Ice is melted by fire, water erodes earth, that kind of thing. We end up with a chart like this, very similar to one that's featured in the game. Even the 12, the gods of Eorzea, fit on this chart, each identifying with an element or elements. But I know what you're thinking. Jesse, I can think of 100 ways that water could be Astral or fire could be Umbral. And here's the thing. You are correct. So let's dive deeper. Every single element can be and is both. I told you it was confusing. So while we have that fancy chart to tell you what each element is, truthfully, there are Astral and Umbral aspects to everything. Just as the flow of time isn't all Astral. In fact, the unbalance of one more than the other is actually terrible for pretty much everything and everyone involved. I'm sure you can think of other examples, but here's a helpful chart of things that I thought up to kind of explain this. Wind can be as powerful as a tornado ripping through a village, or that stanky, stale air of a house that hasn't had its windows open for spring cleaning. Lightning can be the intensity of a thunderstorm, or the constant flow of electricity from a power cell. Fire could be the wild scorch of a blazing inferno, or the 350-degree oven baking your coffee biscuits. Earth could be the rumbling of an earthquake, or the deep dark cave that hasn't seen life in eons. Ice can unleash the freezing power of a blizzard, or the chilly frost of an early winter morning. Water might be a massive tidal wave crashing upon the shore, or a stagnant pond in a field. They can even combine. An easy Astral example of earth and water would be a mudslide, or an easy example of Umbral earth and water would be a bog or morass. Each element can be and is both. Just as with time, each era is both Astral and Umbral, light and dark, which are simply two polarities of ether energy. They are the same, but in opposition. This is how everything in Final Fantasy works. It's the yin-yang, it's the push and pull, it's the balance of the universe kind of stuff. But now we are entering spoiler territory. That involves the most recent expansion, Shadowbringers. So if you want to discover these secrets on your own, thank you for watching. I hope this helped in your future Final Fantasy XIV endeavors, but now would be a good time to go. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, now that the sprouts are gone, bless their sweet innocent souls, we can get messy. So while the elemental chart and everything on it still checks out, in Shadowbringers, our understanding of light and dark, astral and umbral, active and passive, is thrown for a loop. What we thought was astral, light, activity, umbral, dark, passivity. Well, we learn from Urianger that the future 8th calamity is caused by Black Rose, the Empire's secret bioweapon discovered in Stormblood. It kills everyone and everything, civilization unravels, even the world itself is affected by Black Rose as it seeps into the soil. Witnessing the deaths of everyone he loves, Urianger sets out to discover how Black Rose works and how to stop it from wreaking havoc on the world. But while studying on the first, he discovers that the people there do not use the words astral and umbral. When he asks them about the pole aligned with activity and growth, the people of the first respond, darkness. And when he asks what they consider passive, they tell him light. And this is where things get funky, because it's all about perspective. To the people of the source, light and dark, astral and umbral, are related to the effect of something, while on the first, light and dark are related to how it's generated. It's literally basic color theory stuff crammed into the heart of our lore. When looking at black and white in real life, just like in the game, there are differing views you can take. Color as a light, or projection of light sources like the sun, means that white is comprised of all colors. It's a mix of reds and blues and greens. It's why rainbows exist. While black is the absence of light and color. A void, if you will. And this kind of thinking is the attitude of the source. It's what we've known for years. But there is another theory, one that people on the first seem to favor. Color as pigment. If you approach color without using light, sun, lamp, monitor as your guide, you quickly discover that if you mix enough different color paints, for example, they turn more and more black the more colors you add. In this theory, black is every color. It's messy and wild, and it is the active one, while white is the complete absence of color. White is complete passivity, stasis if you will, and that changes how we see things like void-sent creatures too. They aren't the absence of ether, but instead actively draining it from the world, creating a void of ether similar to the 13th. While the Sin Eaters of the first, the void sense light-sided counterparts, are surrounded by an overabundance of ether. They gorge on it. They are filled to the brim with it and aren't using any of it. It's actually why Vothri is a great analogy for the Sin Eaters in the first. He's an overweight, overindulgent, overly egotistical man, and he's taking all of this sustenance in and he's not doing anything with it. It's why he's represented this way. Dude refuses to burn off those etherical calories. So the question then becomes, if we go off what we learned from the first, does this change how we see Hydaelyn and Zodiark? Is Hydaelyn the stasis, trying to keep order in the status quo? Is Zodiark the real agent of change? Is he the good guy? Certainly the Ascians would have us believe that. Or could their alignments have changed? Or could we have simply been wrong for centuries? I don't know. There's so many questions and mysteries. Hopefully, we will tackle them in Endwalker. Because admittedly, it's a head scratcher. But that's Astral and Umbral. Hopefully that's the breakdown you were looking for, with some new information that might throw the whole thing out of whack. I'm not really sure. If you have theories, if you have comments, if you have questions, put them down below. I would love to see what you think about what any of this means. Did I get the breakdown of the Shadowbringer revelations right? Did I miss anything? Please, again, leave all the comments and the likes. And if you want to send this to a friend for a good old nerd out, do that too. Thank you again for all the support. It means the world to me. I'm so excited for the next video coming out. You're gonna love it. It's 1.0. I'm learning so much about the game. I cannot wait to share it with you. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks again, and I'll see you in Eorzea.